Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Gonzalo. I'll be bringing you delicious, healthy recipes for you to try out at home. On the menu today, we have these healthy yogurt and cottage cheese based all seeds bagels. These are not only delicious, they're actually packed with protein, making it a much healthier alternative to your typical New York City bagel. And also, a big plus about this recipe is how fast you can make it. It doesn't require yeast, so you don't have to wait for the dough to rise. Well, all this talk about the bagels is making me a little bit hungry, so let's just get on with it. So we start by adding the flour. We add in some salt, some baking powder as well. Try not to splash all over your kitchen while you do that. So that should be good enough. Now, to make things easier for the next step, we're gonna create a hole in the middle of the flour, and we pour in 5 deciliters of cottage cheese. Let's scrape the bowl nice and clean, and let's add 2.5 deciliters of natural yogurt. You could also use Greek yogurt for this. Actually, the recipe calls for Greek yogurt, but we found that this one works just as nicely. We're also gonna crack 2 eggs into the mixture. So there goes 1 and 2. So now we're gonna mix this all together. And it's really important that you ensure that all the ingredients are evenly mixed. You can see that there's still parts of the dough that actually are super dry and full of flour. This is exactly what we need to try to avoid. So once these spots disappear and you're left with something that is a bit more homogeneous, then you know that you're done. So this is looking pretty fine right about now. So what we're gonna do is just scrape the sides with a spatula. Make sure that we use up all that dough. We're gonna put this aside. And now we're gonna work on the counter. So we're gonna sprinkle the working surface with a bit of flour. Doesn't need to be that much, but just enough. So now we're gonna take the dough, we're gonna put our hand right here, and we're gonna let gravity do its thing. So let's now place this on the counter. From what I'm seeing here, it still feels a bit too moist on this side. So what I'm gonna do is exactly sprinkle a bit more flour. Doesn't need to be too much. Let's just spread that nicely here. You can also bring some to the sides. You can flatten this a bit now for the next step. So once you have this, you're gonna take a sharp knife and you're gonna cut it into however many portions. So for the ingredients that I'm using here, I would recommend going for 10 bagels. But I mean, if you want smaller bagels, you can perhaps go for more. If you want bigger bagels, you can perhaps do a bit less. But this is just a general guideline, so feel free to do your own thing. So I'm gonna slice it in 5 columns. So now we're actually gonna start shaping the bagels. Take one of the pieces, and then we're gonna roll it into a ball. Doesn't have to be perfect. Try not to lose your entire afternoon shaping the perfect bagel. Once we have something like this, then we can start poking a hole. I recommend doing twisting motions because it makes it easier to actually break off the surface of the dough. So you go all the way through, and it's possible that this is going to look a bit weird when you come through on the other side. You can actually spin it a bit, and then you can just perfect it a little bit if you want them to look a bit more beautiful for that Instagram shot or whatever you're doing, then just, yeah. So there you go. We have one bagel here, almost ready to be baked. I'm gonna get to that in a second, but I'm gonna place it on the baking tray for now. So there we go. So I'm gonna stop here because it's quite important that you leave plenty of space for your bagels to rise in the oven. So I'm gonna bake 5 at a time. If you have more than one oven, or if you want to set it up in 2 shelves, you can do that. But I'm gonna go with just 1 batch for now. So now that the bagel shapes are ready, we're gonna take 2 eggs. Well, in reality you need like 1.5, but whatever. We're gonna crack them on the bowl. And we're gonna whisk them. Doesn't need to be perfect. Don't worry too much about putting some air into the eggs. We're just gonna use this for the egg wash. So that should be good enough. Let's put this aside. And let's bring back the bagels. So now we're gonna take the eggs that we just whisked, and we're gonna scrub them all over the bagels. And we're doing this for 2 reasons. First of all, because it's going to give them a very, very beautiful color and a nice taste. And second of all, because since we're doing all seeds bagels, we want the seeds to stick. And without the egg wash, chances are they're going to fall off the bagel, which you don't want. It's a waste of seeds. It's a waste of a perfectly good bagel that you could have had. So we're going to try to avoid that. Just get a bit on the brush here. Start painting. Make sure to cover the sides. This will also help bind the bagels together. You can see that I have some cracks here and there, and this will basically ensure that the bagel sticks together. Not that it would break apart, because I think we did a decent job with the dough, but it's always a good extra safety. Nice and covered. And then the final step before baking, we're going to use a mixture of white sesame seeds, black sesame seeds, and poppy seeds. Of course, you can do whatever you want. You can just add no seeds at all even. But yeah, I just feel like this not only makes the bagels look much nicer, it also gives it a nice seedy / nutty taste. So we're just gonna grab them by hand and sprinkle them all over the bagels. Try to sprinkle them as evenly as we can. So in they go. Try to keep them more or less in the center of the oven. Right there. So it's been about 30 minutes now, and they're starting to get a really nice color, so I'm gonna take them out because I cannot wait. So besides looking delicious, something you cannot see from the screen is how amazing these are smelling. So here they are. are. Look at that. And now it's literally the best part about this, right? You just slice these in half and then you just fill it with whatever toppings you want, or just no topping at all, although I wouldn't recommend that. Normally we go for scrambled egg and avocado, which is a classic, but honestly, let creativity flow and just go with whatever toppings you like. There's not really a way to go wrong with these, to be honest. So now I'm gonna let them rest, and once they cooled off a bit, I'm gonna fill them with avocado and scrambled egg. I just honestly can't wait to try these out. So the bagel is cooler now. I'm gonna slice it in half. And I'm gonna make sure that I devour this probably in less than 5 minutes. So after thoroughly and very thoroughly enjoying these, I cannot stress just how delicious they are. They're crunchy on the outside, super soft on the inside, just like you would want them to be. I could genuinely have this for lunch every day. And if you don't believe me, I'm leaving the full recipe in the description down below for you to try out in your own home. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this type of video, please don't forget to subscribe. I will be posting weekly, easy to make recipes for you to try out at home, so make sure to stay tuned. Leave a comment down below if you'd like me to cover any specific recipe. See you next week!